Welcome to chapter 19 of the book of Proverbs. The fear of the Lord leads to life. Now, this doesn't mean to be afraid of God and hide. It means to fear Him as far as having respect for Him. Today, in society in the United States, it doesn't seem like there's any fear for authority. The police, the police are doing their job, but a lot of people want to get rid of the police, do what they want to do. And there's no fear for doing crime because you don't have to worry about getting caught by the police because they want to eliminate the police. But you can't eliminate God. But if you're doing something that's wrong, then God is somebody to fear. Because Jesus says that don't fear the ones who can kill the body, but fear the one who can throw you into Gehenna or Hades. Him you should fear. And it's like the judge. If you are caught and you go in front of a judge, and the judge can sentence you to life in prison or many years, you'll certainly have respect and fear him. You won't say anything to cause, if you're normal, you wouldn't say anything to give yourself a worse sentence than what it would be if you were pleasant with the judge. But having this fear of God, that what He can do, is important. It begins, I'll read a little in the Greek. Krison esti patokos porevomenos in aplotiti avtu e strevlos tis Helisina avtu ke avtos anoitos. Better is a poor one going in his simplicity than one crooked of his lips, and he is unthinking. Crooked of his lips and unthinking, all kinds of possibilities there, what kind of person that would be talking about. I think of the con artist. Somebody that talks really good, but his lips are crooked. What he's saying is not necessarily true. And I knew this one man who was owned some pizza parlors, and he could talk really well. And people would just be enamored by his talking. It was like, oh, he just says everything so wonderful. Everything that comes out of his mouth is wonderful. But yet, he was dealing in cocaine, buying it, selling it to keep his restaurants going. But yet, he was actually a crooked, unthinking, but yet he sounded good. And I look at how many people sound really good that don't know what they're talking about. It's kind of scary, especially today. I look in the United States and I see so many people that are unqualified. They're unqualified to even be a dog catcher because all they know are cats. They wouldn't know one end of a dog from another. But yet a person can be like that, not have any knowledge of anything, but if they sound really good, then they can get elected. If they look really good, they can get elected. Seems like this is what people are looking for rather than someone with the experience in the field that he's running for as far as an election goes. And then it continues, and even a soul without higher knowledge is not good. And a soul without higher knowledge, I think of God as the higher knowledge, knowing God. And the one hastening with his feet sins. I think of a precipitous type of a person that does something fast without really thinking about the consequences of what he's doing. He just does it, and then afterwards, if it doesn't work out, then, oh, well, shrugs it off. But eventually it catches up with that type of a person. Best to plan something in advance and then go along with the plan, not doing something precipitously on your own. Pray before anything. The attackers of a city called Ai in the book of Joshua, I'm sorry, I'm getting it mixed up. No, it was the people from Gibeah, is a city close by where the Joshua and the troops came into Israel, and these people came to Joshua and said they came from a far place because they were afraid of the Jews killing them and taking over their city like they did Jericho. So they carried old bags of dried up food and holes in their shoes and so forth. And they came and they pretended that they were from the far off. And then the Jews and Joshua, they made a pact with them. And then after they made this pact that they would be allies, they found out that, well, this is a people that they're supposed to destroy by God. And the reason why this happened that was bad, then they tried to attack a city called Ai and failed. But they didn't seek God first if they should make a pact with the people of the city. And this is basically what we should be doing first. Instead of acting precipitously, we should be praying to God. The folly of a man lays waste his ways. You just ruin everything when you're walking as a fool. A folly and a fool. Sorry, folly is the action, and the fool is the person that's doing the action. And he blames God in his heart. A lot of people can blame God when things don't go their way. And I've seen it in my life. People want a certain type of a ministry, and they will go towards that, for that ministry, thinking this is what God wants. I did it myself. Failed big time. Wanted to go up into Canada. I think I've mentioned it before. And I left my 89-year-old mother to go into a ministry into Canada, 1,000 miles north. And I was rejected by Canadian immigration. So they told me to turn around. I went back, which was good. I'm glad it happened because of my mother needed me, and I should have never have went in the first place. So, but now somebody could sit there and blame God and say, well, I came in here and I wanted to be a missionary and I was stopped by this and it's your fault. You didn't do anything. I'm going to go and leave you and do something else. And that is not what we're to do. Riches add many friends, for sure. But the poor one is forsaken even by the friend that exists. It's a truism. Don't have anything, people don't have any respect for you. If you have much riches and you walk in to a room with a lot of people, everybody say, hey, hi, how you doing? And they'll spend their time with you. But the poor guy can be left standing at the door. Nobody cares about him when he walks in. And I've seen that happen. A lying witness shall not be unpunished. And a lying witness, now what is what is this? And the one accusing unjustly shall not escape. Now, we have a good story in the New Testament in Matthew 26:59 down. It says, now the chief priests and the elders and the entire Sanhedrin sought false witness against Jesus so that they should kill him. So these people are completely doing the opposite of what Solomon says. And they did not find reason. And many false witnesses having come forward, they did not find a reason. But afterwards, 2 false witnesses having come forward said, well, this one said, I am able to destroy the temple of God and in 3 days to rebuild it. And having risen in the three days, Jesus says, wasn't the temple of God, it was himself being destroyed by the people here. And having risen up, the chief priest said to him, "Nothing you answer? What do these bear witnesses bear against you?" But Jesus kept silent. And responding, the chief priest said to him, "I adjure you, according to the living God, that to us you should say, if you are the Christ, the Son of God." And Jesus says to him, "You said it. Furthermore, I say to you, from now on you will see the Son of Man sitting down at the right hand of the power and coming upon the clouds of the heaven." And we haven't seen that yet. Verse 6, many attend to the persons of a king, but every evil man becomes scorn to men. Now, I'm not exactly how this relates, but it's almost like two separate subjects. Many attend, but scorn comes to evil men. Everyone who detests a poor brother also will be far from friendship, and good insight approaches to the ones perceiving her, and that would be the insight. And an intelligent man will find her insight. The many doing evil perfect a work of evil, and the one who aggravates by words shall not be delivered. And this reminds me of the unrighteous servant who was pilfering and doing things from the master's goods. He was caught, and so he didn't want to be shamed and cast out. He couldn't work hard anymore. He's probably older. So what did he do? Is he wrote off what a bunch of men owed the master, made friends with these people by doing evil. And yet it was parable by Jesus on how he was shrewd. And too bad that many Christians aren't shrewd to do something good for God, like the unrighteous servant did for himself. The one acquiring intelligence loves himself, and the one guarding intelligence shall find good. A lying witness shall not be unpunished, and whoever shall kindle evil shall perish by it. And the lying witness may not be caught on this life, but he will stand in front of the judge. This is where the punishment will come for so many. And whoever shall kindle evil shall perish by it. A lot of people have done a lot of evil things, and the evil things have caught up with them, destroyed them. I think of the Nazis and Hitler and Nazi Germany, how they kindled all this evil, and then they were destroyed by the Allied forces of England, United States, basically, and they perished. Luxury is not an advantage to a foolish one, and if he has a lot of goods, I think of people that have went and bought a lottery ticket. The person could be somebody that's the last person that should have any money. And that person ends up winning millions of dollars, $100 million. And here you have a fool, which you've given $100 million to. And this luxury to a fool. And I see that in the United States with the lottery. I think the lottery is terrible. Now, gambling has been going on forever. It's sort of a game with money. People can play Monopoly. Nothing wrong with playing games. I don't play games, but because I was a sore loser and I decided not to play any more games. But people can play games. But once you put money down, then it's called gambling. And there's nothing in the Bible against gambling. There was a few instances of people gambling and casting lots over Jesus' cloak. That was the Romans. But this is the way. But a country that allows all this money to go to foolish ones is really a foolish country. It says, nor is it seemly if a servant should begin to be in power by insult. So somebody that is a servant or a worker gets to be powerful, but yet really doesn't have the right instincts for the job. It's pretty bad. You can have somebody that somehow he gets into a power in a work environment, and when he's doing these things, and being a bad worker, causing possibly other people to get hurt. A merciful man is lenient, and his boasting comes upon lawbreakers. And here we've got the dagger, and the dagger says, or triumph overtakes. So that would basically be what it's talking about. In his boasting, triumph overtakes lawbreakers. The intimidation of a king is likened to a lion's gnashing, somebody to be fearful of. But as dew upon grass, so is his making one happy. And the person in England could have designed some beautiful sweater or clothes, and they're given a stamp by the king that this has been approved by the king, making that man very happy that he was able to get that stamp of approval by the royalty. A foolish son is shame to a father, and vows paid out from the hire of a mistress are not pure. So a woman's vows are, if she's not pure, then they're no good. A house and substance is portioned by fathers to children, the heirs, but by the Lord a wife is accorded to a man. Now, a wife is accorded to a man if the man is walking with the Lord, hopefully the Lord would send a woman or to be a wife that would be walking towards the Lord. But if you have a man that's not, he's walked away from the Lord, then the wife that you might get could be somebody that you wish you didn't marry. Dread holds down an effeminate man. Now, I'm not effeminate. I don't know how it's relating that. Right now, it's become a new hobby with a lot of men to become effeminate and be transsexual in the United States, having parties all over the place. And in Jerusalem last week, 7,000 homosexual or gay people, whatever they are, men and women, marched through Jerusalem. I don't know what God thinks of that. I don't think he thinks very well of it. And dread holds down. Now, do these people, will they come to a point where they're going to be dreading what they're doing? That I don't know. It says it here. And the soul of the idle hungers. Person that's not working gets hungry. Now, we got a lot of homeless people today that are not working, and they see our signs out, want food, money for food, and if that's what it goes to. The one who keeps the commandment gives heed to his own soul. If you do God's laws and you care about yourself. But the one disdaining his own ways shall perish. Not doing the things of God will end up perishing. The one showing mercy on the poor lends to God. Sort of a poetic statement right there, lending to God. I mean, you don't really, it's something God would like. And you're doing something that you think is good. It's a strange figure of speech. I'm not exactly sure what you would call it, But the one showing mercy on the poor lends to God, doing things good. And according to his gift, he shall make recompense to him. Now his gift, that would be the one, his gift, the one showing mercy, and he is God, will make recompense to him that is the one showing mercy. You get these pronouns, it gets kind of confusing who it's talking about. Now, giving recompense to the person, of course, is something that's a two-way street. You can be giving a recompense to somebody that was doing evil. You can give them a recompense of something bad. And if somebody was doing something good, then you get a reward. Depends on the action. Correct your son, for thus he will be confident. Now, correcting a son is something that a father should do if he loves him. But it says, do not lift up the soul to insult. So when you do correct him, think about how you're correcting your son. You don't want to insult him and make fun of him. A lot of times we do. You know, why'd you do something like that for you? You know. But we're told not to do that. An evil-minded man shall be penalized much. And if there should be injury, he shall add even his life. That can be the penalizing, could be stealing and going to jail, or losing his life by injury, by killing somebody, basic, or manslaughter. Hear, O son, the instruction of your father, that you should become wise unto your last days. And a father, of course, that instruction is good of God and so forth. The father loves the son most of the time and wants the son to do good, doesn't want him to do bad. And I think Jesus says, you know, what father would give his son a snake if he's asking for food? The father wouldn't do something like that, neither does God. Many devices are in the heart of a man, but the counsel of the Lord abides into the eon. We can come up with a lot of ideas in ourselves, and some of them work, some of them don't. But the counsel of the Lord, what the Lord puts in us to do, will prove to be successful. This is what he wants. And they'll abide into the eon, whatever work we do. Jesus says our works will be tried by fire, and whatever remains, whatever passes will remain, and it'll abide. Charity is a fruit to a man by giving money to the poor. It's something you get back. But better a poor just one than a rich liar. It's better to be poor and just than being a man who's a liar, who's rich. Phobos, fear of the Lord is life to a man. That's where the title came of this chapter. But the one without fear shall lodge in places where knowledge is not overseen. So if you don't fear God, you don't care about what God's doing, then you're in a lodging in a place that's not good. The man hiding his unjust hands in his unfolded arms, not even will in any way bring them to his mouth. So basically, the lazy person is just laying back with his hands like this here and just doing this. The idea of if a lazy person not working, then he's not going to be bringing anything to his mouth, no food, because he's lazy. A foolish one being whipped will be, of his mischievousness, will be more clever. But if you should reprove an intelligent man, he shall comprehend for good sense. So a mischievous person that stays mischievous, even if he's whipped, he's going to be doing bad things afterwards. Isn't going to make any difference. Even you see people that have went to the penitentiary for 20 or 30 years get out and go start up their crime right away. But a man that's intelligent, when he's reproved, then he'll comprehend it and change. The one dishonoring his father, patera, the pater, paternal comes from that derivative, and thrusting away his mother will be disgraced and reviled. That is, if they are God-fearing parents. A son ceasing to guard the instruction of a father shall meditate upon evil sayings. So the idea of listening, basically, I think of father here as God. The one not listening to the instructions of God is going to meditate upon evil things. The one guaranteeing a loan of a foolish child insults the ordinance. I just saw a advertisement on the internet of a parent, somebody guaranteeing the loan for their children to go to college. And I'm thinking, oh boy, you can build up all that debt, and the parents are going to be liable. The mouth of the impious ones shall swallow down judgments. They won't care. Continue doing impious deeds. But whips are prepared to the unrestrained, and punishments in like manner to foolish ones. Corporal punishment, it's called whips. It was in the 40s. You could get whipped, spanked in school if you did something bad. Paddled, they called it, they had a paddle. It's like a flat pizza board. And before that, there was corporal punishment, where people that were caught doing something wrong, they would tie them down and they would whip them. They still do that in many countries in the world, especially the Muslim countries. And there was a American young man who did something in Singapore years ago, and they were going to give him like 20 lashes. And everybody here was like, oh, 20 lashes, we don't do that. What's this all? They're going to do something like that. I believe they ended up whipping him, if I'm not mistaken. It was a big deal for maybe a week that this was going to happen to this young man. Chapter 20, the trustworthiness of the righteous, which hopefully we are trustworthy for other people. We'll find out about that. Chapter 20. Hope you join us. Till then, God bless.